Latching onto the guitar at a young age, Quinn Bonnell of Esgenoôpetit First Nation uses fantastic instrumental ability to combine his singer-songwriter stylings with blues, folk, and pop. Starting out his musical career as a sideman in several other bands, his own songwriting began to take the forefront, and he started off on his own as a solo musician and band leader. Influenced by artists ranging from John Mayer, Kings of Leon, Radiohead, and Gary Clark Jr., his compositions feature a driving rhythm section, steady, on-the-nose vocals, and Bonnell's intricate guitar work. See what happens when he takes his team of crack musicians into the studio.
That's a nice kit, man. It's like, you know,
Thanks, man.
this
I
could
like
go.
it.
It's like very portable.
I
James?
mess around with Reaper sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go through the drums real quick? Do you want to just play for me for a minute?
Sure. Is that too boomy? Mostly
It's-
curious.
I mean, that mic, especially on a without a hole on the outside, it's mostly just for some like low-end presence. That's all it's really gonna give us at that point. I love that snare sound, the kick mic.
Yeah.
That might be half our snare sound.
My name is Quinn Bonnell, and I play guitar and I sing songs. I'm also a songwriter. I'm from Esgenoôpetit, so that would be more north from Fredericton, which is called Burn Church. 2011 is when I first came to the city, and sort of the culture shock of sort of living on my reserve. So it was kind of a difficult time, but landed me here. Now I'm doing interviews in front of cameras and playing guitar and studios and stuff. So it's pretty awesome.
But I think it would be easier there for us. I would just lay a bed track down because I could get that track done. And
So you want to do, when you say bed track, you want to do your guitar by itself?
yeah, with a click, so that it'll be easier for we all to be on
Yeah,
time.
we can.
Yeah, that works for me. All right.
That's the way we're gonna do it.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Growing up on the reserve, my parents sort of felt that I am susceptible to different lifestyles, and sort of guitar just seemed to be the thing that kept me busy and keeping my head above water. I never really took it serious until I was like about maybe 15. Then I started to sort of jump in on it because it's been around my family my whole life, and it was the best thing for me to do to keep me out of trouble at the time. I believe I would have had a harder time if I was living in Burn Church than living here, because Fredericton seems to be nice enough to give somebody a chance and critical enough to make a good musician out of somebody trying to get into the industry.
Can't even wait till the ring out to drink that coffee. Get it into you. It was good. Sounds good in stereo too. I know you weren't hearing them, but I had them both going. They work well together, or
Okay,
for
yeah.
parts of it, or other parts, or whatever.
All right, I think I'm good for the bed.
Cool. If the other guys are ready, all set, guys?
How's that?
Here comes the click.
The traditional style of indigenous music, I mean, there is a demand for it, but there's an amount of pressure of like how much I put of my traditional ways into my music. But ultimately, what we're taking like elements from our traditional music. So one of my biggest priorities in my songs is the rhythm. Like, I gotta make sure that the rhythm's more powerful than anything else, because to me that's the thing that gets people to be more interested in your music. You could kind of have a bad guitar mix and it'll still sound pretty good. Same with bass. Bass you could manage and figure it out, but drums is something that you have to sort of get right at the beginning of this sort of production. That's my favorite part about it.
Let's talk about two perspectives here. Live, the drummer is kind of like a band director or an orchestra leader. In the studio setting, it's mostly about getting an accurate picture of the drums, self-mix the right volumes, you're not hitting the cymbals too hard and the drums too soft. There's a lot of different gizmos that you can bring, right? You can see on my floor tom, I have a towel that's taped to it to help muffle that particular drum. I bought a selection of cymbals with me, brought a couple different snare drums with me, so that's something that people may not realize is there are so many options. You have to bring in a lot of different cymbals, drums, that type of thing to get the sound that the song calls for.
I guess it could be a fade out. It'll work itself out.
Everyone brings their own ideas to the table, and with some people they have something in mind that they want you to play, and that's cool because at the end of the day, I want to make their vision come to life. That's what I'm here for. Other people, it's, I don't know, you're the bass player, you do it, and there's a lot more leeway that way. Both are really cool, and also playing different styles, you learn something new with everything that you play. It makes you a more complete musician, and I'd argue a more complete person.
Lately, I've been trying to reimagine how I approach a song, because for a long time I've sort of relied on that frame of picking up a guitar and figuring out how to write a song. But I think that my past releases showed that I could do that. I've been doing what I've been doing for a while now, and I think as an artist you kind of got to challenge yourself to write something that's totally different.
Yeah, we'll be fine like this. I'll be fine.
Are you? The tone sounds good. Are you happy with where it's at?
Yeah, I like it.
Here it comes.
The recording is pretty much a physical testament of what you've done. A lot of people say there's no value to albums anymore, but if we don't record, if we don't keep a record of what we've done, there can't be progress.
If we don't have recordings of the styles of music, how people are approaching music, what people are listening to, then 10 or 15 years from now, we wouldn't have that. What were people listening to? I don't know.
There's a thread of things in music. Like there's a thread that we've sort of culturally followed, and when you listen back to some of the old stuff, it's almost as if the new stuff we're listening to has aspects of that. And I feel like we can't forget almost like where our heritage comes from as musicians and artists. We kind of got to take what we've always known and put it into something that we're trying to figure out as time goes on.
I definitely believe recording music is important. It has to be, because if we don't, it's going to be really hard for people to learn in the future how to progress music forward and kind of make it make more sense, I think. Because if we don't record like whole albums, there's not going to be those weird B-sides, and like it's just limiting creativity, I guess. Like I hope we keep recording albums, because that's how you kind of find those threads that tie everything together and sort of make sense of music in your head. Right?
So what else do we have for parts then?
Can I try like two things that I just kind of thought of?
Sure.
What I'm going to do right now is play my guitar like a lap steel.
Cool.
I'm gonna turn the verb up a bit too, just to make it more like.
Sure. Spacey.
Yeah.
You all set there?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
When I was 13, I went to go see Joel Plaskett play at the Aiken Center here. So the next day, I went to Long McQuaid and bought my first electric guitar with my mom. And my music teacher was very nice to me. She let me be in the jazz band. And that made me really happy, because now not only am I a guitar player, I also teach elementary school music as well.
Bringing the music to children and young adults is really important to become a well-balanced individual. It's a big part of who you are, discovering your own identity. And with all the cutbacks with music in school, you're going to end up with students who have no creative outlet leaving school. And in the end, I think that's going to end up costing everyone. I wonder if I'd be sane in the first place if it wasn't for music. Music is the one thing that keeps me going as an individual, as a person. It's easy to lose yourself when you're a parent or even as a spouse. So you need that connection to you. And music is definitely that thing for me.
Without music, I wouldn't have nearly as many friends as I do. It's meeting new people, and it's a good way to have relationships with people.
The fact that it's a shared experience is probably the greatest thing about music for me. Like, the fact that sometimes you just don't even need words to get the feeling across, and music has this powerful thing of like conducting emotion, and sometimes you don't even know you've had these feelings. And the good thing about music and language is a lot of it is explaining to you of a feeling that you already know, you just don't know how to put words to it. And that's where, to me, that's the moment in music where I'm like, man, this is something greater than anything I've ever dealt with in my life,